Right then, lads, welcome back to Kossi's Arsenal podcast. My name is Kossi. We are back again. It is Mikel Arteta's press conference reaction ahead of the Crystal Palace game. He spoke about a couple of things, by the way. And the most interesting one is about Granit Xhaka and Gabriel Martinelli, because he thinks Martinelli has a very, very special place in that Arsenal squad. We're going to look at what he said about Gabriel Martinelli, but as well, he spoke about Granit Xhaka, and he said, if you tell Granit Xhaka that you have 3 months out, he's thinking about to, I hope that is not an excuse they're using not to get in a central midfielder in January, at least someone on loan. That will make a lot of sense. Be sure to subscribe to the channel. Make sure you do hit the like button as well. Let's try to look at what Mikel said in that press conference ahead of Crystal Palace. Right, so obviously, the transcription from the Arsenal website is always provided you by Robert Kelly. And he said, if you tell Xhaka 3 months, he's definitely thinking about 2. So this is what he said. Mikel Arteta has reviewed Granit Xhaka's determination to return to the Arsenal team ahead of schedule. The Switzerland midfielder was ruled out for 3 months with a knee injury sustained in the victory against Tottenham Hotspur, but he has been working overtime to get back as soon as possible. Mikel said Granit is progressing well, but obviously we know it's a long-term injury. Unfortunately, he's not going to be available on Monday night, Arteta said. And he also said with Granit Xhaka, I don't know, but I'm sure if you tell him 3 months, he will be thinking of 2. He'll be trying to do extra work to try to minimize the time. That is for sure. And he also said we have to do it in the right way because it is significant. It is a significant injury, and he wants to and we want to have him back properly when we can. So that's Mikel on his man. Of course, we know how much I've said this when Xhaka sustained the injury. We know how much Mikel Arteta loves Granit Xhaka. If there are players that he trusts, if there are players that he loves to have around him, is Granit. He really loves having Granit Xhaka by his side, and I know it's a very, very big blow, and I know it is something that is not really sitting well with them. But again, for me, I think it's an opportunity for players like Albusam Lakonga, also an opportunity for Arsenal as a club to think about life after Granit Xhaka. He's never going to stay there for a decade. Yes, he can be there for a decade, right? But it's never going to be there for forever, for eternity. Time always runs down, and you've got to think about the bigger picture. For me, it's a blessing in disguise that he gets injured. I really don't want to seem very pessimistic. I know he will come back, and he might come back as a good player, or even as a better player than he left, because he left with a very good performance against Tottenham Hotspur. But in the end, Arsenal have to think about the bigger picture. Get a midfielder in January, and also be sure to sign in a midfielder in the summer. So that is Mikel on his man Granit Xhaka. Of course, he spoke about Emile Smith Rowe as well, and he said he's getting better because he has the hunger, not anger, really. So he said Emile Smith Rowe delivered another man of the match performance in the international break, scoring a fine breakaway goal for England under 21s as they beat Andorra on the road. So Mikel has been vocal in calling for goals from the 21-year-old, and is confident he will come due to his natural diligence and willingness to learn. So this is what Mikel said. He says, I think the intention, the hunger and ambition should be there. Our manager said, he's capable of doing that. We want to ask players to do things that they can achieve, and I'm sure Emile can improve that part of his game. So he's so willing to do it. He's working on it almost every day, and he's asking the right questions. He's getting better because he has real hunger. And he said, to be fair, Emile is naturally like this. If anything, sometimes you have to tell him how good he is. He needs to believe how good he is. And of course, Mikel said you have to encourage him to try things he's capable of doing. He's a joy to work with. It's still very early in his career, but we are really happy to have him in the team. I really can't disagree with Mikel. When he speaks about Emile Smith Rowe. For me, it's one of the things I love about him. He's a joy to watch. I don't know whether he's a joy to work with because I've really not worked with him, but he is a joy to watch. One of those players that are always on the pitch, and then you just feel like, you're up for some entertainment. His runs, his work rate, and the talent. He's really talented. But he's look, he's got to add more goals to his game. Just like Granit Xhaka, just like Martinelli, just like any other players, just like any other kids in that side. But I'm happy for I'm happy for the lad, and I hope he continues to perform better and better. For Arsenal and for England, because Southgate said something. I don't know whether this was a bit of. I don't know what he aimed, at by saying that he was very close. He was very close to being called up for England, and then he wasn't called up. I really didn't understand what he meant. There was he trying to encourage him? Was he trying to tell him you're so close? I don't know, but what I know is that he is a very good player, and we are up for really big. Shows. On Patrick Vieira, Mikel said Vieira is an Arsenal legend, and it's great he is back. And this is what he said. Monday night at the Emirates Stadium, we'll see two former Arsenal captains in the dugout as Mikel Arteta goes head to head with Patrick Vieira. The Frenchman, now in charge of Crystal Palace, will return to North London for the first time since his departure in 2005, and his opposite number knows it will be a significant moment. Mikel said he is an Arsenal legend, and I hope that and I hope he gets the reception he deserves for what he did for the club, not only as a player but also what he transmitted as a person. Arteta said. He also said that he was a captain, of the club in the most successful era in the last many years, and it is great to have him back. Recognizing him in the right manner, I think is really important, and I'm sure that will be the case. Vieira has made positive impression since taking over as Eagles boss. So has Mikel Arteta. Been surprised by his instant impact. So Mikel says, he has been. He has already had a couple of experiences as manager, and he knows the league really well. He said, you can see the touch that he's trying to put in the team and the things he's trying to implement there. Obviously, Patrick knows the league much better probably than any other manager because he has experienced it himself as a player, and it's the greatest that he had. And it is great that he has the opportunity to do that as well. So basically that is it on Patrick Vieira. My thoughts on I think Mikel is right, by the way. I'm not here to upload Mikel Arteta because I usually don't do that in press conference reactions. Surprisingly, I'm doing that today, but I think he's right. I mean, Vieira is a legend. Despite if they come and win at the Emirates Stadium, they won't be the first club to do that. So let's just keep our cool. Let's just keep very calm. I know Mikel will try to win this game, and Patrick will try to win the game. He's a legend. If he beats us, that doesn't take away anything. If we beat him, that doesn't take away anything. He's been one of those greatest players that I've really loved. The players that we miss, actually, I think ever since the departure of Patrick Vieira, we've really literally struggled in the midfield. Yes, we've had a couple of players like Cesc Fabregas, Samuel Nasri, Sombelong, Vasil Kabujabe, and a couple of others, but I think his quality, his boots have been so big that they have not been filled even up to until now. So on Gabriel Martinelli as well, Mikel said he's not for sale. He's not going he's not going out, on loan in January. So every piece of news that has been saying Arsenal will lose Gabriel Martinelli is a hoax. He is not going anywhere, and maybe that is something that we can celebrate about until we meet in the Evening Arsenal Show. Make sure you smash a like on the video. Subscribe. We are at 33k. Should be driving very fast forward to 34k. We are at 33.8. I mean, Should be at 34. Anyway, speak to you later. Make sure you do watch the morning Arsenal show. It's already out. I spoke about a couple of transfer stories and rumors, and probably in the evening Arsenal show, I will try to dive into the game and probably more Arsenal news. Why not? Smash a like on the video, and I'll speak to you in the next one.